So I didn't really want to respond to this because if I make videos for every Star Wars theory I don't like, I'm going to be making 2 videos a day for the next decade, which is why I did like a roundup video. And I think this theory was out when I made my roundup video, but at the time I thought it was on the status of crazy old man yelling on the street corner. It turns out it actually has millions of views and people are treating it like a credible theory, so it's time to break my silence. So I did not like this theory, which you should already know because I'm going to give this video a really judgmental title. Okay, so first, let's reiterate some of the points in the video and complain about them. Number 1. Mace Windu utilizes both the dark side and the light. So basically Mace Windu has a purple lightsaber because he wanted his family to be able to see him better in the fight scenes, and he asked George Lucas if he could have a purple lightsaber. George Lucas at the time didn't really care about the integrity of his series, so he was like, okay, sounds good. Now, I've read on several fan sources that having a purple lightsaber means that you used to belong to the dark side, but you've been redeemed. Also, I think the KOTOR game supported this, but there are also a lot of other explanations. Some sources say it just means you're a really smart Jedi, so okay. And then other sources are like the canon is so muddled at this point that the color of your lightsaber never means anything anymore, ever. That one might be the correct answer. And I have looked all over the place and I have been unable to find a single scrap of canon evidence to suggest that Mace Windu was ever evil at any point. And him inventing a fighting style that's aggressive doesn't count, as if there are non-aggressive ways to cut people's heads off with swords. Honestly, if anything, it just means the fight choreographer was feeling feisty that day. I mean, for big chunks of episode 2 and 3, Anakin was sneaking a lot of dark side shenanigans into his Jedi missions. His lightsaber never turned purple. Besides, the Council spends a really long time looking for a hidden Sith Lord. Don't you think someone would have mentioned if Mace Windu had been a Darksider? Like, oh, Mace, lend us your unique insight. I mean, can't we assume he was loyal to the good guys because he, died trying to stop the dark side? 2. Snoke talked about the balance between the dark side and the light side, and so did Mace Windu. This is the worst thing ever, because if you watch the prequels, everybody talks about the dark side and the light side. I mean, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Anakin, next you're gonna tell me that Anakin is Snoke. 3. Snoke said he was alive to see the Empire rise and fall, and Mace Windu was alive then. Yeah, you know who else was alive then? Everybody else who was alive then. Anakin was alive then? You gonna tell me Anakin is Snoke? Number 4. Mace Windu got zapped by force lightning on his face. So maybe that's why Snoke's face is all messed up. I hate to repeat myself here, but an insane number of Star Wars characters have messed up faces. It's kind of like a trademark of the dark side. Darth Sidious, Darth Malak, Darth Malgus, Kylo Ren just got his face all cut up. Even Anakin had his face severely damaged. This guy even mentioned that they're both bald. Yeah, that's some really compelling evidence. And then he said that scar on top of Snoke's head could be from Mace Windu's fall. I love this because it implies that he could fall face first onto pavement from a 180th floor window and not have his head splatter like an overripe pumpkin. 5. Mace Windu has a vendetta against the Skywalkers. So Mace hated Anakin for turning evil and killing all the Jedi. And then, for revenge, Mace turned evil and killed all the Jedi? Isn't this kind of like a pot-kettle situation? Snoke has consistently just been doing all the same stuff Anakin did. Okay, so here are some bonus reasons this theory doesn't fly. 1, this would be the weakest revenge against Anakin Skywalker imaginable. If Snoke's whole angle is that he hates Darth Vader, why would he encourage Kylo Ren to love and worship Darth Vader and use him as a model for success? Is Snoke like a super ironic person and this is a clever inside joke? It just doesn't make sense. I don't think anyone who personally knew Anakin would want him to be worshipped, except maybe Anakin himself. And if this is all a revenge plot against the Skywalkers, it's kind of hindered by the fact that none of the Skywalkers currently alive were responsible for or alive at the time of Mace's death. I mean, I guess if you're an evil jerk, you can take revenge on your enemy's babies, but what's the point if your enemy is dead and not even around to see it? I guess Anakin's around as a Force ghost. If you're a ghost, are you sad when your family dies? Or are you just oh hey, what's up? Welcome to the club. I mean, Anakin probably never thought that smuggler scoundrel was good enough for his daughter anyway, so you kind of did him a favor. Maybe Snoke is punishing Luke because Luke forgave Vader at the end of his life. But it seems like the people who really get the raw end of the deal here are Leia, who hated Vader, and Kylo Ren, who only likes Vader because Snoke told him to. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make it. Number 2, Mace Windu is hella dead. So one thing about Force users is that they can sense people's life signature and notice if they die. If someone's really important to you, you can even tell if they die from planets away. So if somebody knows your terrible secret about how evil you are and you really need them dead, I feel like you would notice if you failed to kill them and had to go finish them off. I mean, I guess they did throw him out a window. Maybe Anakin didn't want to go down all those stairs. It's a lot of cardio. But wait, someone is saying. Obi-Wan didn't sense that Darth Maul was alive when he cut him in half. So, A, revenge isn't really a super Jedi concept, and Obi-Wan probably didn't care that much about killing him. I think stopping him was the priority, and cutting people in half usually works for that. B, in the context of the movie, Darth Maul definitely died. That whole alive but he has mechanical spider legs thing was just a sloppy retcon they did later. And C, it's so dumb that Darth Maul came back to life. Also, is that Legends now? I don't even know if that's canon anymore. That's okay, because I'm sure lots of people are going to tell me in the comments. In the meanest way possible. And 3, it's not cool if Snoke is Mace Windu. Why do I have to keep saying this? What is it with you guys? Why does everybody in these movies have to be somebody else? So Snoke is Mace Windu, but he doesn't look like Mace Windu, and he doesn't act like Mace Windu has ever acted before. He wouldn't even be played by Samuel L. Jackson, you guys. I don't understand why. Why do we keep doing this? Snoke being Mace Windu informs us of nothing new about Snoke, and nothing new about Mace Windu, and has no consequences whatsoever to the story. Darth Vader turning out to be Luke's father changed his relationship to characters in the story. We suddenly knew he'd been Obi-Wan's friend, so that changed the way we looked at scenes they'd had together, and now Luke had to deal with knowing he was fighting his father. Like, it changed things and raised the stakes and stuff. Mace Windu has no remaining relationship with any characters that are still alive during The Force Awakens. If someone said Snoke was Mace Windu, most of the characters would be like, oh, who's that? And maybe like one guy in the back would be like, oh, I've heard of that guy. Maybe to make it relevant, they could write in a scene with Obi-Wan's ghost where somebody says, hey, Obi-Wan, Snoke is Mace Windu. But then Obi-Wan would be like, who's Snoke? It's a mess. It's a mess. And then let's say they explain to Obi-Wan who Snoke is, or he like knows through the Force or something, and then he finds out it's Mace Windu and is surprised. Well, like, then what? Maybe Rey would be like, so what do you think of that? Does that, I don't know, sound like something he would do? And then Ghost Obi-Wan would be like, I don't know. I didn't really know him that well. We were just co-workers. And then all the other ghosts are like, yeah, me neither. Maybe young Anakin could be like, he was cool in the cartoon spin-off. And the audience is just watching in awed confusion because at this point the scene has taken 40 minutes. So, those are my reasons. Why do you make fun of all these fan theories? Why are you so mean? Stop talking about Star Wars. Okay, I guess I should make a disclaimer. It's not impossible that Snoke could be Mace Windu. It's just not any more likely than Snoke being literally any other character we've ever seen in the entire history of Star Wars. So that's it. That's all I've got to say. Bye. By the way, Anakin is Snoke.